Hello and welcome into another episode of O'Day and Night. I'm your host, Adam O'Day. Last night I was joined by Harding University football players Zach O'Day and Luke Martin. I really appreciate having them on and hope y'all enjoy this conversation I had with them. Good evening. I'm here with Luke Martin and Zach O'Day, both defensive backs at the Division II powerhouse, Harding University. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Doing good, feeling good.
Yeah,
Happy to be
great.
here.
Good. So, I'm curious. What brought y'all to Harding?
Just football, getting recruited for football, and that really introduced me to Harding, and then people from my church as well. I'm kind of met a Harding community through that. So
Yeah, my dad went to Harding and played football there, and then it just he was a walk-on, and then just so happened that it was good enough to earn a scholarship and got shown Harding through recruiting. So yeah.
There you go. And y'all are both freshmen. Well, just finished up y'all's freshman years. So what were some highlights and lowlights from this past year?
So we both redshirted, and starting with the highlights, probably my favorite memory. Like redshirting is tough, obviously, because you come from being in high school and everyone getting recruited is like obviously the guy at their school and got to play for 2 to 3 years, 4 years. So redshirting was tough, but the highlights that came from that was getting really close with the other freshman redshirts, and like me and Luke became really good friends and stuff like that. Just spending good time and going through hard things with each other. So that was probably my biggest highlight of the year.
Yeah, I'd definitely say like the low light is making that transition from like everyone that plays with us was the guy in high school, like they were the big stud, and making that transition to like having to humble yourself a little bit and realize like you gotta wait your turn again, and you gotta get to a place where you can really play and dominate. But definitely the highlight was like meeting the guys in our class, especially like we all stayed in the same dorm on the same floor, all of our freshman class, and it was such a fun experience just getting to know guys that on a really close level, being close together in the dorms. So
Yeah.
So what does a redshirt practice or workout look like?
So like last fall, like during the season, the red shirts would have, what was it, 2 times a week we'd have a lift?
we had three. I think.
So the red shirts would have a lift. I think it would be like Tuesday night from like 7:30 to 9 something. We'd have a lift, and then I think like Thursday or Friday, like 3 times a week we'd fit it in after practice usually, or sometimes in the morning before class. And on top of that, we'd also have practice. So practice would be from like 2:30 to 4 something. We'd go eat, and if we had a lift, we'd come back and lift.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really packed comparatively to compare it to like the older guys' schedule who aren't redshirts who play. They have like in-season type of lifts which aren't like as tough and stuff like that, and they definitely get a lot more rest. So like it's definitely different for the redshirts and probably tougher, some would say. So.
Yeah, our practice schedule is really it's really exactly the same as the older guys. They do a really good job of trying to like implement a sense of normalcy. Like you're not treated any different than like a starter is. So it's pretty base across the board that you're not gonna get obviously as many reps as the starter's gonna get in practice, like especially in most of the live looks.
Right.
But the only difference between us and the starters was live looks, and we have to compete in the freshman scrimmage every Thursday, which was really fun sometimes, and other times it wasn't the best, but it was fun. It's a fun opportunity, and they make sure to, a lot of the older guys make sure to hype us up on those days and make us feel like we're part of the team. So because we are, it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Zach, I know you mentioned when I came up and visited back in October, the paintbow y'all did that day. Why don't you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, so the red shirts would have if it was a home game, the red shirts would have a workout Saturday morning, the day of the game. And one of the days we had something called the paintbow, it's essentially like a team challenge. We had like 5 teams separated up from the red shirts of like teams of like 6. And we'd to that day we had something called the Painbow, which was basically like 3 guys from the team, or no, like the whole team
The
basically.
full team, yeah.
Split up 3 and 3 on each side of the field on the sidelines, like the width of the field, and you had to push. The first thing you had to flip a tire around in the shape of a rainbow, hence the name Painbow, and then the next guy went and drug like a big bag across, and you just kept going back and forth with heavier things, and the distance kept getting longer and longer, so it's just like a big old rainbow, and yeah, it gave me. It gave me a lot of pain. It's called the Painbow for a reason.
Definitely a tough morning for sure.
Yeah, 1 to 10, 10 being that was the hardest little team challenge y'all did. What would you rate it?
I probably put that at like 8.
Wow.
We had the hardest one by far was the Widowmaker. Another crazy name, and it was kind of like the same concept, but it was a team challenge. Everyone had to do it, and you had to push a 45-pound plate on the ground from sideline to sideline, and then stand up and run. And then you take a 45-pound plate and a 25-pound plate stacked on top of each other with a rope in between them, and drag it backwards across, and then run back. And then you pick up these 2 step-over bags, so it's like the square ones, and run to the sideline, drop them, and then run back. It doesn't sound like a lot.
It sounds pretty easy.
It sounds really easy. You push that 45-pound plate across the field and try to stand up. Your legs are absolutely shot. Like there's multiple videos of guys from our freshman class falling on our faces trying to run.
Me, especially.
There's a pretty good one of Zach falling down.
It was bad.
It was, but it's only a 2.5 minute challenge. You should get it done in.
You get done in about 2+ minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's very short.
You're going as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But when you're done, you feel like you've been working out for 6 hours and you can barely walk. But other than that, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's done.
Yeah. We just got to. We showed up at 8:30, or no, we showed up at 9.
In the mornings, yeah.
Yeah, 9 in the morning, and we were done with the Widowmaker by like 9:20.
Oh wow.
It was done.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Oh yeah. Now, so I was doing a little research beforehand. This past season, the y'all's defense gave up 19.82 points per game, which was tied for 38th in the nation for Division II out of 169 teams. So what does it mean to y'all to come into such a dominant defense?
Well, I think that's on the higher side for comparatively to like our team average. Like we usually are about at like 10 points a game.
Oh wow.
As far as I remember, and I know we definitely weren't as happy with like our outcome of the season. I think defense probably played into that a little bit. I mean, 19 points a game is decently high, and especially with the kind of offense we run, with the amount of clock we eat up. So, but I mean, yeah, we definitely pride ourselves on our defense and being able to get off the field and stuff. But we need to be better next year. For sure.
Yeah, I think what was it, 30? What did you say, the 38th or something like that?
38th.
Yeah, 38th in the nation is like in the last 6 years. That's probably I think that's the worst we've been.
Wow.
We've had like a top 10 dominant defense, especially in points. So we're definitely looking to bring that ranking up a little higher and put it back to our standard.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so y'all went through y'all's first collegiate spring ball this past semester, and y'all had to face the 3rd best rushing offense in the entire NCAA, whether it be FCS, FBS, D2, or D3. Y'all were behind a couple of Division III schools. So, but what was it like facing such a dominant rushing offense?
You definitely got to bring it in practice. There's no easy days against the offense in practice. They're super physical every day. They're always on point. There's rarely an off day that they're just not executing well. They really take their job very seriously. So we don't do a whole lot of defense versus offense stuff, but we make sure to get some in the spring. And so like those days, it's definitely like don't come soft. If there's a time to be hard, it's now. And it's kind of that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yeah, it's definitely tough, especially like whenever we do go live, like we do like a half line, like full contact, and it's definitely tough going against like the triple option because it's not really what we prepare for ever, and it's just a tough offense to read. But you know, it's really good going against guys that are really good and care a lot, that like going full speed and stuff like that. It's a great look for us and great competition. It makes everyone better. So
And our defense is really built off of our like run stopping ability. So like playing a defense like that, playing an offense like that in practice, it kind of accentuates all of our like stuff we try to get better at, like stopping the run, having like trusting your eyes and playing with a quiet. We say quiet mind all the time, and to play against a quiet mind against the flex bone is to really like focus and not take any read like too lightly.
yeah, read your keys and wreck and play fast. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so, who were some of the tougher individual players y'all had to stop?
You know who's a sleeper was Josh.
Josh Jones.
Josh Jones.
Yeah, all of the they call them slot backs, like kind of the wings. There's 6 of them that are like basically all we have right now that are like studs. They could start anywhere, 6 deep at, and then they're all really good. Braden Jay, who was a freshman, he was gonna redshirt and then he ended up playing some this past season. And then like Chauncey Martin, who's an absolute stud, and then Omar is coming back for his last season, and there's everyone really, all the fullback, B-back type guys are all tough.
It's really those for my position specifically is like it's trying to stop those B-backs when you get the chance. You rarely get the chance to stop them because I'm usually the first guy they're trying to block, and when you get the chance to free hit them, it's like candy. Like you want to really hit them because they're huge, and if you knock them down, it's like those guys are so good and they've been so good for so long that if you get to really get a good tackle on them, it's like almost like a medal. It's like it's a big deal, and I rarely knock them down, but you know, I tried our best.
Oh yeah. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would y'all rate y'all's individual springs and why?
Well, Zach had a really good spring because he was the only free safety that stayed healthy.
Yeah, so like there's like 5 guys, including me, at my spot at free safety. There's 3 safety spots, and we started this spring with 4. And the first day, one guy got hurt, broke his ankle, and then like a week into it, the starting guy in the second string, one broke his thumb, one broke his foot, and so I was 1 out of 5. The other guy had been hurt, so I was 1 out of 5. So I ended up getting a lot of looks, like a lot of reps, all the reps, I guess, basically, and that was really good for me. But it was tough as well. Like I was getting really, I wasn't getting any rest and stuff. But rating my spring, I guess, I don't know. I'd probably rate it like a 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's not bad for a 19-year-old kid.
6, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, yeah, room for improvement for sure. I definitely got better from the day 1 to day 15. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I had to put a number on mine, I'd probably say like a 5.87, a very exact number.
Yeah.
But it's like day 1, I kind of had a rough start to the spring. While I struggled a lot in tackling and taking on blocks, but I thought from the first day to the last day, like I had become like someone who was a better like tackler and a guy who can take on blocks. And I think a lot of that was just like I tried to implement as much like film watching and critiquing myself as possible, like harder than I ever did in high school. And that helped like easily. I could see a difference day to day because I just had those critiques like back in the back of my mind when I was playing. And so it just helped me. So I'd probably put 5.87.
Oh yeah. Now I'll put a little twist on that. I'll have y'all rate each other's spring balls.
Zach, I'd probably put Zach higher, like a 7, like a 7.2 maybe.
I'll take
Just
it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's your freshman. it's like it's hard to have a perfect spring as a freshman, especially when you've been redshirting.
Yeah.
Like there's obviously going to be some guys that do have like a really good spring, but like I think for our situations, like Zach coming in and not getting hurt and being able, and our defense not getting like, I don't think our defense got worse like when Zach like came on the field when those guys got hurt. Like I think we stayed the same, and that's a big deal. That's something that like not very many people notice, that hey, all the free safeties got hurt and Zach is still going.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure for a freshman, but he handled it really well and did really well this spring.
Good.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah. Well, Luke, I'm trying to think. I've been trying to think of a number, but I'll talk about Luke's spring. Well, in the fall, he started out at Rover, which is like the weak side safety, kind of plays further off the ball. And so he got moved to strong, which is a completely different position, different roles and everything for the spring. So he completely had to learn a position for the first time. So I think he definitely improved a lot from day one. It was noticeable in his tackling, especially, and picking up like call recognition and formation and stuff like that. I'll probably put you at a 7 out of 10. Really, you improved a lot. Like from day one, I probably put you at a 6 and at least a 7 from a day 15.
Nice.
So
I appreciate
yeah,
that. Appreciate
no, you
that.
definitely
Appreciate
you definitely improved, and there's still we both can improve.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Now looking ahead to this fall, since y'all are technically classified as redshirt freshmen, y'all might not see the field a ton. So what are y'all's individual expectations for this year?
Like expectations for myself, I'm gonna get on that travel bus and at least run down, kick off, punt, everything, and the goal is to get in the rotation for playing like safety. And right now I have Cooper, who's gonna be a 6-year senior, and then Ty, who's a year above me, ahead of me right now. And then there's 2 other guys who are kind of unclear on the depth chart because of spring ball. They didn't play, so it's right now I'm looking like I'm 3rd, and hopefully I can keep it that way and break the depth chart and get in the rotation for getting on the field for defense. But as of right now, special teams all the way. As if I can, I'd love to. So.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Except the guys ahead of me, I'm kind of sitting 3rd, and the guys ahead of me, I got Kyle, who's a stud and gonna be a stud. He's a junior on the field.
Yeah, he will be.
He'll be a junior on the field. So he's still got this season, next season, and then Kendall, who also got moved from corner. He went from corner to strong safety. No, he had a pretty good rap of the defense when he got moved. So, and he had played a little bit of it before,
Like last spring.
I think last spring. So I'm also trying to break that rotation and try to get some looks on the field. Definitely got some work to do to get on that field, but looking to get on the travel bus and play special teams. I think that was one of the strong points of my spring was special teams. I had a really good showing, so hopefully looking to get on definitely kickoff because our kickoff has always been really, really good, and I want to keep it that way, and I think I can help us. So.
Oh yeah. And bigger picture, how do y'all expect the team as a whole to perform this year after a bit of a down year?
I think we'll definitely have a better year than last year. I mean, we went 9-2 last year.
9-2, yeah.
and that being a disappointment is it's a statement in its own. Like, we expect to make the playoffs. We obviously didn't last year. And I think we'll come out and have a really, really good year, make a great run. Hopefully make it to the Natty. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That is the goal every year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think last year our problem was we had a lot of youth on the team, and
good problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem. It's always a good problem to have. Like we started a redshirt freshman quarterback, and he's coming into his 2nd season, and we had a lot. We didn't have the most explosive. We didn't have an explosive backfield as we're used to, and I think this year like we're gonna have the most explosive backfield in the country.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a big testament to us on the offensive side. On the defensive side, that 38th in the nation is definitely gonna come up. I can promise that because we got a bunch of guys that stat is like in the back of their head, and it's really making them itch, and they want to improve that. I'd probably say, I mean, we're gonna win the conference. That's our base goal easily every year. Like, we want to win the conference, but to take it to the next level, like we want to go that natty easily. That's the expectation. Harding has been good for so long, or like not for so long, but the last 5-6 years, and like we want to be the guys to take it to the next level. That's our goal.
Right, for sure. Well, it was great having y'all on. Appreciate y'all's time. Again, huge thank you to Zach O'Day and Luke Martin for joining me last night on the O'Day and Night podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed, and be on the lookout for more content. Thanks.